So yeah, now it's your turn. And so the goal of this series of interviews is what? What is your mission statement, Chris?
Okay, I'm very, very passionate about what I do. So am I about my clients. Like for me, everyone brings me something. So I want to work with my clients or some of my clients. Like for you, with you, for instance, it's a two-part thing. One part, you ask questions to me about whatever you want to hear about or learn about in the health industry, training industry, or whatever field I can help you with. And I do the same with you. So it's to bring the passion that you have and the passion that I have on my side and bring it to a video that is informative yet entertaining.
I am really curious to know what a little bit of your background is. What got you started on this journey? What made you interested in pursuing fitness, pursuing body transformation, health, etc.? What sparked it for you?
I've always been very curious about anything related to physiology, biology, and all this. So I studied in science at college and then went to
Were you the kid that I hated in high school that was really good in like, medicine and science and
I was very good, but I was mostly a very, very active guy. So I did baseball, hockey, and soccer. Any sports. I would do a few hours a day,
okay.
7 days a week, until I was like 18.
And so then by the time you got out of high school, you knew what your path was.
Well, I knew I liked it, but I didn't know where to go. You had this part at 17 where you don't know where to go. Like anything I would choose, I could go there, like an engineer or, I don't know, biochemistry or anything I could choose because I was good at school.
Okay.
So, but it brings another problem, which, because you don't have one, now you have access to everything. And I'm a very curious guy, so I like everything. So same thing with music. I like classic music and I like speed metal thing. I don't have
You're
a
eclectic.
specific, yeah, I like
Yeah, that's
everything.
good.
But it brings a problem when you want to study in one field because then you get to choose.
Well,
So I went,
what guided you then? What you must have had one spark or one like life event that said this is the way I have to go.
honestly, I just look at the book and at one point I saw that medical laboratory was where you would learn microbiology, biochemistry, and hematology, study of the blood cell. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I studied it. So everything I learned in biochemistry, everything I learned in microbiology, I would always put links in training because training was my number one thing. So, okay, if lactic acid is high, then blood is acidity is very high, so therefore your respiration rate will increase, and then so to expel all the CO2 to lower the acidity in the bloodstream. So I would learn all this, but always pair it up to something I was working in a gym or so I started my playing with my mind a
Already
lot.
before.
Yeah, already. And then for years I continued to study nutrition and training and a bit of Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and then functional medicine in the last 6 years. It's science that are looking for uh, like the base of a problem or the root of a problem rather than treating the symptoms.
You before you were about to say that you felt that not even functional medicine had all the answers.
No, I don't think there's one way. Okay, let's take just magnesium, for example. Magnesium works in over 300 chemical reaction in the body. So if you're deficient in magnesium, you will impair one of these reaction, right? Maybe for you will increase your blood pressure. The other one will have anxiety because of the lack or deficiency in magnesium. So there's never a clear way. And I would give you magnesium to help out with anxiety. It will work. Yet you will see this Chinese doctor. It will prescribe you or give you an herb that will do the exact same thing. So am I right or is he right?
I
So
guess it depends on what's in the herb. Do you find that it has some of the same properties?
it's just there are different ways to correct the same issues.
So
So
you,
so that's the yeah.
yeah, you were saying
So I'm not against everyone, anyone, and I'm not for anyone.
you just believe there's more than one way to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
And what got you? This I found interesting when you told this story. What got you interested in training? Why did you want to pick up a weight?
I have three older brothers.
Yeah.
So bullying at that time wasn't maybe bullying, but it was pretty intense. So I was just called the chicken frame, which I still have. Like I still have these very small bones. Even for women, it would be small. Uh, so at 6 foot tall, 130 pounds, I was quite small at 18, so fully developed, not when I was 12.
Yeah.
So at one point, I'm like, okay, I want to train. I want to be big. I want to look like Arnold. I think I can go, I don't know, grow muscle. It should be easy, right? And I like to work hard, like physically. I like it. So for me in the gym, I was at my, at that time, we were training for 3 hours every day. Like, I still have my first training program. I keep it. It's Marc Jalbert who did it, who wrote it, the owner of the Gold Gym at that time. And it was a 2-day program. And the first day was chest, back, biceps, and abs and cardio.
That was the
And
first day.
first day. The second day was legs, shoulders, and triceps. And like I had like 26 sets of chest and about 30 sets of back and 20 sets of arms plus 16 sets of abs plus like 20 minutes of
20 minutes of cardio.
yeah 20 minutes of cardio.
Okay.
So we were just training a lot.
More
And
is better.
more is better, and even doing much more is even better. But we would just do it and just add these crappy protein shakes that would get you get bloated on it because it was eggs and milk. You couldn't mix it with water. It was just taste awful, like the waiter.
I tried those.
Yeah, you can confirm. It
Yes,
was.
I can. It tasted like ass.
And you have these, we had these liver pills that tasted like shit.
I tried those. Tasted like ass.
Didn't need that chocolate flavored.
For you, given that if you were a smaller framed individual, probably didn't carry already a lot of body fat on you, did you see results quick?
No. I stopped. I don't know. I put my mind that for me, a man was 6 feet tall or 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. That was my picture of a man.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a man yet because I was 130. And I took muscle up to a point. Right now I'm still 200, but I went up to 200 and stopped at 200. So I was wondering at one point, what if I put in my brain it was 210 to be a man?
Would I have made
Yeah,
would I
a
have made
difference.
it to 200? I forgot to mention this in the other section that it was something I wanted to mention was that when we talked about the different films that I had worked on, for 300 I was put on a special diet, and I never knew that much about nutrition other than just what I read. But when I did it, the training was very similar to like a CrossFit type of training, and the diet for me, like the different results. The one thing I wanted to mention was I lost weight on it, but aesthetically, I didn't look very different. I just looked like a smaller version of my fat self. I wasn't particularly cut or defined. I didn't have the same results. The training was about the same as what I did for Immortals, when I met you, but the diet was drastically different. And I learned that through you, if certain individuals respond differently to carbs.
Yeah.
I remember you seeing someone else on the same team that I was on when we did Immortals, and you said, well, this guy can eat that and it'll work fine for him. You can't. And so you determine that, like you said, how? With pinching the fat, seeing.
Yeah, pinching the fat and looking at the variation, but mostly is to listen to clients. Like, what are you eating right now? What past diet have you done? Like, okay, you were doing the zone at that time.
At that time, everyone was, and that's like I had no
I'm
choice.
like, okay, so what was the result? And then you say it was a smaller version of my fat self.
Yeah, I still lost weight.
So
I looked okay.
For me, I won't go into the zone because obviously it's not working or it's not the results I have in mind. So I need to go elsewhere. I know it's not working for you. We have the experience, we tried it, blah, blah, blah. We had the training, everything was good. And the expected result wasn't there or not perfect. So I need to go another way around to make sure that you got. Whereas I remember it was Marc-André on the.
Yeah.
He was eating tons of rice, and okay, at one point I'm like, okay, you can eat pasta, and he was eating pasta while you were like, okay, you're not allowed to look at him when he eats pasta.
Because just the vision of it may.
You'll be influenced and you'll get fat, and I don't want to be there. But it's just to be.
Don't stand too close to him because you might breathe in the odors of the pasta. Damn.
Yeah, but it's a different animal, different type of food. Yeah. Period.
Do you think that I can only talk about myself because that's all I have as an example. But do you think that I would have been different younger? Like would I might have been able to eat younger? Like do as we age, metabolically things change.
Yeah, yeah. Like I have clients I've been following for 10 years, and you it's like what 8 years
since 2009, on and off.
So we saw a difference where we were using this type of diet, would work well. We would try it again and like, okay, nothing's happening.
Yeah, example, like, in 2009, I got strict again. And then I came to see you recently and there was no change. It was like stuck.
Yeah.
For me, frustrating. For you, must be frustrating as well. What then do you, like I had asked you, like what, do you have strategies that you already sort of predetermine? You go, okay, I've had this problem before from experience.
Yeah. I found out a lot of technique I developed. This is what I'm teaching right now. I give seminars all around the world about techniques I use when someone is stuck. Like he's losing weight, it stops. Then I develop some techniques to go, to break the plateaus.
Those don't always incorporate diet. Like you said, you might try something else. Like would a training, a different type of training ever yield that kind of result?
Yeah, it could be training, could be sleep habit, could be, I don't know, stress, could be a lot of things. Or sometimes hormonal changes with the years. Like if testosterone drops a lot or growth hormone drops a lot, it will impair the body or its capacity to lose weight.
Oversleep, does that ever, can that be a negative?
Definitely, yeah.
What do you consider like oversleeping? In terms, is there a set number or it's
perfect number? Doesn't exist. Like they say, you should sleep 8 hours, but it comes from an average. Where, okay, if I call you at your home, like, okay, I'm doing this survey, and how many hours do you sleep? Oh, I see 6. Okay, what would be your perfect number of hours? Oh, 8. Yeah. But the real thing is if you get 6 hours and you never get sleepy during the day, you have no side effects of whatever, it's probably very good for you.
How do you get people to, so this is sort of like listening to your body clock. When I came to you, your big 3, your big 3 pillars that I learned about from you were sleep, bowel movement, for it to be regular, and then dialing in your diet. And for sleep, like it's kind of like being in tune with what your body does naturally with not much prompting, I guess, on your own. But how do you get someone, or how do you get illuminate someone, for example, like teach them to be aware of it? Like what would you use?
Yeah, but it's the same thing with everything, like energy level. It all comes down to the first interview, where it lasts for an hour and a half. I ask a lot of questions, and I get the feeling of what the client, how the client talks about one subject or one area. When they define their sleep, oh, I sleep pretty well. Okay, define well, or this is a word I use a lot, define. You know, I might not know it, but you'll notice it next time we meet up. Yeah. Always define whatever you're saying. Oh, I sleep well. Okay, define well. Well, I mean, it takes me an hour to fall asleep, and then, you know, I wake up only once to go to the bathroom. Okay, every night, and it's easy to fall asleep after. Oh, well, no, but yeah, it takes like half an hour. I'm like, okay, it takes an hour to fall asleep. It takes half an hour every night to fall asleep again. Like, okay, that's bad sleep. So then I will go into, with this client, okay, we need to define what is good sleep.
How would you correct someone's sleep? Because it seems to me that if someone does not have a natural understanding of their sleep pattern or whatever, what kind of thing would you suggest in order for them to get a better handle on their sleep cycle?
Routine, 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 routine. You know, you have location, location, location.
Yeah.
Okay, you have routine, routine, routine for sleep.
The same thing all the time.
All the time. You need to prepare that clock, internal clock, running at the same time, all the time. Let's say you have this women, 2 kids, got divorced. She's in charge of the kids. She works a lot. She's working, stressed out, comes back from work, helping the kids out and doing everything in the house, and then going back to sleep, and then she tries to sleep right away. But the minute before, she was like this, you know, all the lights, all the music, all the sound, kids, you know.
Yeah, so there's
Everywhere.
No way, no time to decompress.
Decompress. But if you live outside, the sun goes down, you know, slowly. It's not like it's day and night. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. So you're preparing your hormones, you're lowering your cortisol level, which is the hormone that makes you awake and can reduce histamine and all that that makes your brain relax. And then you secrete melatonin at night when there's no light. Okay? So you can recreate that environment in your house, meaning slowly shutting down the lights or dim the lights. Same thing with the sound. If you're watching TV, lower the sound slowly, and then shut off lights, and then prepare yourself to sleep. Now we know that we need to cut the blue light, so now you can have glasses to cut the blue light because it will impair the melatonin secretion. But and then shut it down the TV, starting to read a book, a paper one, not no digital. Yeah. So then you start to relax, and then maybe take a hot bath, and then relax even more, and then go to your bed, and now you're sleeping.
So then we touched on food, we touched on the sleep. What about the bowel portion? What do you do to try to correct that? I thought it was just take fiber and stop eating carbs.
No, especially women, it's more complicated, but there's also psychological part to it.
This is new to me. I'm kind of curious. Psychological part to pooping.
Yeah, totally. You know stage fright?
Yeah.
Okay. Women tend to have stage fright in the bathroom, meaning they won't go if there's not in their own environment, or if there's someone that can come in the room, the bathroom, after they went there. Whereas guys, if it's smell, if it sounds, they couldn't be more proud. So they will typically go out of the bathroom like, oh God, that was a good one.
I accomplished something. I matter in the world.
So I've seen a lot of women at work, they will never go to the bathroom. They will skip that day because they wouldn't go. So it's called stage fright. That expression comes from one of my clients. She's in London, and she was saying, you know the stage fright we have. What do you mean the stage fright? Well, going to the bathroom elsewhere.
You didn't touch about it too much, but did you have any role models, people that you that once you met them, your life was going one way, and you got shifted another way.
Well, younger,
Change your way of thinking.
Arnold was a big thing. Conan the Barbarian. We were all looking at that movie and like,
yeah, totally.
We all want to be Jack.
What is good in life?
Yeah. Yeah, little kids want to be superheroes, but our heroes were
I still do.
Yeah, but all of our heroes had muscles on them.
Yeah.
So it was an inspiration to start. But then as I studied more, one big influencer was Charles Poliquin. He brought another way of thinking. So I did a lot of internship with him and a lot of seminars with him. And then I meet up a lot of different doctors or specialists in functional medicine. So every time I have someone else to...
So everybody contributed a little piece to your puzzle.
But I would say I don't know him. Hopefully I will meet him one day. But my model right now is Richard Branson.
Oh, yeah.
For different reasons. Obviously, he's very successful. Like, he has over 50,000 employees. Like, I don't remember, 300 or 400 companies. But it's the thinking of having fun everywhere. You probably know him for all the crazy stuff he's done.
Yeah.
It's done. But bringing that fun part to the job where I would connect with, because I always done this job because I really like it.
You have to do it because you want to, not because it's what pays
totally.
you.
It always looks good after. It's easy to say, like, this guy's a billionaire. It's easy to say that I have fun. Yeah, but when you read his biography, he was like this even young. Didn't have a dollar, but yet started this newspaper thing at school. And then took this and started, he liked music, so he wanted to build this studio, so Virgin Music. And so for me, it's a kind of inspiration that just, his book is Screw It, Let's Do It. Just sum up the thing. Like we were talking about my English, it's not perfect. So it's the same thing, let's just screw it, let's do it. I won't wait until it's perfect. I can talk. I can speak, I can explain, I can teach.
It's what you impart and the energy that you impart. That was one thing that I loved about when I met you, and I told you what my goals were, is that it was incredibly, you give a thing that I like to see from people that I like to look up to. You give a feeling of it is possible. Like to me, like getting six-pack abs or whatever, it seemed like an impossible dream. And you were able to impart that, it is possible. There's a plan, there's a step, there's a way. That's what I liked about, when I met you, is just it seemed like a very achievable thing, all of a sudden.